learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming in as September 25th, 2020, and the stock market is setting up for a lot of things. We are getting closer to the end of the month. This is almost the final week. We end the month midway next week. However, the market has a lot of things going on. It's waiting on a lot of stuff. There's going to be the congressional end to the budget. We have earnings right around the corner, and I'm going to slip in the last part I'm going to share with you, but I think the Grim Reaper. So there is a lot to talk about. Today was a pretty wild day as well, too. You didn't really see it reflected across the board. It seems like it wasn't that big of a move. However, we started out pretty low. We went pretty high, and then we sold off a pretty good amount towards the middle of the day. Now, we still closed slightly green, but literally right below this line, this previous close and where we were, this is pretty much the level of like 2020 gains. So anything below here, the market is now negative on the year. So today was wild. It seems like it was caused by one thing. We will go over it. However, I think a lot of this is still digesting what we saw last week. So we have a lot to talk about. I got the plays. I got the keys. Everything else we're looking at for tomorrow. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free $99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/the-stock-market. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life. And yes, tomorrow is Bring a Friend to Colt Day. We should be having a game show, or maybe a game of Connect 4 or Uno, or and I have nothing planned, so I don't want that much pressure. But bring a friend, and if you have any ideas, comment below, or maybe I'll see you there tomorrow. Okay, bye. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watches below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything, post them below and source that info. Shout out to Chad, baby. But right off the bat, short and sweet, as far as what we saw today and even coming into tomorrow, it is the same situation as yesterday. We saw a lot of the Fed today. It was a little bit more positive. There was this rumor now that we were going to get stimulus, or there was going to be some sort of deal between Mnuchin and Pelosi. And again, I don't know if it was a rumor, or after watching the House committee, as everybody was watching that, they kind of got misinterpreted, is the way I'm kind of viewing it. And then later throughout the day, it was kind of confirmed that it wasn't. And people are saying that's what explained this move, because again, it was a overall big move. Remember, we closed yesterday very, very low. We gapped down a little bit, but then we sold off even more. Again, this was just a huge sell-off if you look at from 330 to 319 in just a day. So we started going lower, and then we popped up, came down a little bit, then all day was kind of very, very bullish. At one point, 320 to 326, but then we really got steamrolled out of nowhere. That I commented on it as we started to get towards the previous close line. We were like, this is 3 points in like an hour or two. It was pretty big, and this was kind of when people say the rumor got rebutted. So it is the same situation as yesterday. Again, that being said, I think the market will react. It is a question of how the market is pricing in stimulus, what they're expecting, and even what Powell and all of these other people on the Fed are saying as well, too. So there's that. We did get jobless claims data. It was a little bit worse than expected, but didn't really affect the market too much. However, today wasn't really that big of a day at the same time as well, too. So I think we need to keep watching stuff. The VIX is going to be huge in all sense of the word. We're going to use the VIX a lot moving forward, even currencies and some of the other stuff here. But it seems like the market is still waiting on a little bit more information regarding the election, kind of what's going on with the response to when Trump appoints somebody for the SCOTUS seat. And then there's also all this stuff from the Fed and then the stimulus. So I think the market is still pricing in some stuff, kind of finding that range, but it is still September. We are still in that cuck zone. So I think we're turning the corner. Again, we are about to wrap up September. However, the end of the month is middle of the week next week on Wednesday. So you still have a little bit of time, but I would watch the VIX now. Kind of moving forward, you saw the market have this reaction in September where it was both one big reaction, then a cuck, it's taken a decent amount of time to react. So now, as we enter October with earnings, I think it is going to be very, very pivotal. So moving forward, I will be using the VIX even this week, even for tomorrow. Again, I think tomorrow should be an interesting Friday. However, I think every week, even moving forward from here, we should not be disappointed as far as excitement-wise. But watch the VIX. Again, we've talked about it a lot. It's helped us out a lot. We are going to keep talking about it too. But then finally, I think we are entering a Grim Reaper moment. So I thought about this. We have earnings. We saw Nike really, really surprised. We played an earnings play with Costco today, but think about what the Fed has been talking about. Think about Powell. Everyone's saying more need for stimulus. They're saying the market is good. I got to thinking about this for a little bit. I was kind of saying, well, maybe Powell is kind of telling us we might see a Grim Reaper, and that might change the urgency for stimulus or anything of that nature. So remind me about this tomorrow. We have a lot to talk about. However, I think we are also going to get an exciting earnings season, but pretty simple day. That is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I have a few different set of plays. We did make a Costco earnings play. I will go over that before the main play so you guys could start getting back in the hang of this. Again, we are doing the earnings plays. Again, I think this will be a big earnings season, but I did Costco both ways. They were pricing in 3%, and again, kind of even with this logic, we've been kind of chasing it. We didn't see it happen too much. However, I think this is the year we're going to see them. I'm going for the surprises on earnings. So I wanted to get time on the calls, a little bit short term on the puts, but the core logic was they were pricing in 3% move for Costco. These options are just about 10% out the money, so the puts were priced right, but with November, I spent about double what I usually would, that $60 sweet spot. So that was the first play, but Costco ended up not moving at all, I think, or felt nicely within the range that it was expected to move. So watch them, though. We'll see how that plays out for the continuation. But now as far as the other plays, I think it's been a long time. I'm going to be watching for this either tomorrow on Friday or even coming into next week, but Boeing. It's been a very long time. We played Boeing many, many times last year, this year. I mean, a lot. It's a company we've traded, but if you really think about it, remember, it's been stuck in a range for a while. I even pulled this back on the 1 year where it was stuck in this range and it popped up, and then it's just hasn't really had a big pop in a while. I like that. Think about burning one right there. It's been a long time on there, so I want to see. We've been seeing some news. They just got a government grant, so they caught my attention, but I want to set up for watching them coming into this week, or maybe they are even the Grim Reaper. Who knows? But that is going to be the first play for tomorrow. The next play, remind me, don't let me chicken out on these. I want to go after the Wells Fargo and SPY credit spread. So I want to play pretty much the reverse or average down whatever is moving. So we remember we did all these credit spreads. We've been talking about them. This play, I was down like $2,000 at one point this morning. It was up at 40 cents, but then it finally came back. We were even up 50% or 40%. I didn't take it. I'm still in this, but we talked about kind of how we could have made these premium plays better. So we were down on this one. I did that other SPY one from yesterday as well too. If you guys remember, I sold the 321. So they were pretty decent, but I was down another like $2,000 on these. Now we're only down 300. Again, this is why I want you guys to be watching. This is why we're documenting it so you could kind of get an idea and see. And this is why you should ultimately paper trade. These are really, really risky. And if you didn't know how to handle them, if you closed out early, or again, even if we average down, this is the whole point about the play I'm looking at for tomorrow. We talked about average down. We saw the opportunity. We went over kind of a little lesson on what we could have done better with the premium. So I'm going to be watching both of these plays. If there is a good opportunity to average down, I might go for them, but I want to go for premium sells in the morning on whichever direction the volatility is pretty much aiming. So remind me for that. We're going to see, but I will be using those plays, Wells Fargo and the SPY credit spreads that we already have as kind of place markers, and I may even just play amongst those or do similar plays related to that. Watch them. And then finally, the last play, AMD. I wanted them this morning if we were going to get more bullishness, but I brought them up yesterday. I kind of like how they're looking. I just like the way they're shaped in the sense that they've moved a lot. These are kind of what you want with options. Again, if I'm expecting the cuckening to wrap up and then we're going to start moving, or another round of earnings season, there's nothing like stocks that have pretty much a 100-day chart. They have a 100% range. So a lot of growth stocks are like that, but you guys know AMD, even some of the options are a little bit cheaper. So I like that. I'm going to be looking at them for the put side, but I don't know if I'll necessarily get that tomorrow. Again, that's kind of one of those I would play like Home Depot. in the event of there being kind of like any weakness. And then speaking of Home Depot, they closed red. I think the option still got clapped today. It went down a little bit. Again, it just had a huge spread, but this was the play I made in the morning. I grabbed 5 of the 235 puts for next week at 40 cents. So spend a little bit more money. Again, they closed at 40 cents on the ask, or 34 cents on the ask and 26 cents on the bid. But watch them. And again, I'm kind of viewing AMD as like the growth stock version. Again, I'm going from value to now looking at the growths as stocks that could kind of move with the market a little bit, but those are going to be the main plays. Again, still want to focus on the credit spreads. You're seeing how they helped us out. I closed out that Tesla one. We got like 50, 60% premium or 75% premium. I think it was like 200 something bucks. But got that. Going to watch the Costco. I may even look at Tesla in the morning to sell some premium again. However, on Friday in the assignment risk, you got to be careful with that. And also be careful about assignment risk and even ex-dividend if you're not familiar with the spreads. I did make those McDonald's free. We did that earlier in the morning. They went up to 54 or 53 cents, the ones that I bought yesterday at 26 when we played the break. So this morning, stock kept going down. I made those free, sold half at 53, holding the other 5. I'm using those to kind of balance out some of the other trades, and we had the premium going against us. So watch them. Watch Chipotle as well, too. I may even look to sell put premium on them. Again, and why I'm even bringing this up, they had the rumor of them even splitting, so I want to see, but lately we've seen random rumors here and there, and you could kind of tell which ones have had weight or not, so we'll see how that plays out. And then finally, Microsoft, I think they got some news after hours on sales, but I kind of think they're looking the strongest, and again, we've made so many plays on them over the last month, but the logic was they are the FANG to a degree, or they're part of this whole tech bubble, but they've moved a little bit slower, so I like that. I don't want to lose sight of them. Then finally, TLT, it finally ticked up. The premiums continue to go up today, and even in the midst of all this, the fact is the whole stock market's moving, but bonds haven't been moving. That's why I grabbed this play yesterday. Again, people said, is this the TLT? It's a TLT. So again, we explained some of the logic behind it. However, now the difference was, and we'll see how this plays out the next few days, the dollar finally closed red today, or stopped some of this streak that it's been on where it's only been going up. So that was a very, very interesting factor. So watch out for that. Watch the commodities. I don't think they're going to be as important just yet. We'll watch the dollar and bonds, and we'll see kind of, again, how that trifecta plays out. But I think coming into October, we should have a lot of excitement. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to embrace the catfish. Embrace the thing that is making you move. It's keeping you fresh. It's keeping you alive. Don't be scared of it. Don't get mad at it. But the code loves you. I love you. And we'll see you in the morning. Let's go.